Socrates, a central figure in the history of Western philosophy, is widely regarded as one of the most transformative thinkers of all time. Born in Athens around 470 BC, Socrates did not leave behind any written works. Instead, it is through the writings of his disciples, especially Plato, that we have come to know his philosophy. Despite the absence of personal writings, his methods and ideas have had an indelible influence on philosophy, shaping the way we think about ethics, knowledge, and the pursuit of truth. 1. The Socratic Method. Socrates is perhaps best known for developing the Socratic Method, a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue that seeks to stimulate critical thinking and illuminate ideas through questioning. Instead of providing answers or teaching in a traditional sense, Socrates encouraged his interlocutors to think deeply about their own beliefs and assumptions by asking probing questions. This method, often called elenchus, aims to expose contradictions in the beliefs of others, and lead them to a greater understanding of the truth. The Socratic method can be summarized as a process of inquiry and reflection, where participants are encouraged to question everything and seek a deeper, more refined understanding of concepts like justice, virtue, and piety. It is a method of philosophical investigation that encourages humility in the face of knowledge and challenges individuals to confront their own ignorance. This approach has had a lasting impact, not only on philosophy but also on modern education and the scientific method. 2. The pursuit of virtue and knowledge. For Socrates, the ultimate goal of life was to pursue virtue and self-knowledge. He famously proclaimed that the unexamined life is not worth living, emphasizing the importance of introspection and self-reflection. According to Socrates, living a virtuous life was not about adhering to societal norms or external rules, but about understanding the deeper, universal truths that guide human behavior. He believed that through the pursuit of wisdom and self-awareness, individuals could align themselves with these truths and lead a morally good life. Central to Socratic philosophy is the belief that knowledge and virtue are closely linked. Socrates argued that no one willingly does wrong. Instead, wrongdoing is the result of ignorance. If individuals truly understood what was good, they would naturally act in accordance with it. In this way, Socrates placed knowledge at the heart of ethical behavior, asserting that the key to living a virtuous life lies in understanding what is truly good and just. 3. Socrates and the polis. While Socrates was primarily concerned with individual virtue, his ideas also extended to the nature of society and the role of the individual within the polis, or city-state. Socrates engaged in numerous debates about justice, the ideal state, and the nature of political authority, often questioning the prevailing assumptions of Athenian democracy. In his view, the health of the state was dependent on the moral integrity of its citizens. Socrates believed that rulers, or those in positions of power, should be guided by wisdom and virtue, rather than by self-interest or popular opinion. One of Socrates' most famous philosophical engagements in the realm of politics was his relationship with the Athenian democracy. His commitment to truth and moral integrity led him to frequently challenge the views of those in power, which ultimately made him a controversial figure in Athens. Socrates was critical of the democratic system in Athens, especially its tendency to give power to the uninformed masses rather than to those with wisdom and knowledge. However, his philosophy did not propose a specific political system, but rather aimed to encourage individuals to critically examine their roles within society. 4. The trial and death of Socrates. Socrates' unflinching commitment to his principles and his method of questioning led to his trial in 399 BC, where he was charged with impiety, disrespecting the gods, and corrupting the youth of Athens. Socrates, rather than offering a defense based on pleading for mercy or conforming to the expectations of the court, famously used the trial as an opportunity to further challenge the assumptions of his accusers. He argued that his work was in service to the gods, as he believed that his philosophical questioning helped guide individuals toward greater wisdom and virtue. Despite his defense, Socrates was found guilty and sentenced to death. His execution by hemlock poisoning remains one of the most poignant moments in the history of philosophy. Rather than fleeing into exile, Socrates accepted his fate, embodying his belief that it was better to suffer an unjust punishment than to live a life of falsehood. His final moments, as recounted in Plato's Phaedo, reflect his steadfast commitment to the pursuit of truth, even in the face of death. In his last words, Socrates famously declared, "Crito, we owe a rooster to Asclepius," symbolizing his belief in the importance of the soul's journey after death. 5. Socrates' legacy. Socrates' influence on Western philosophy is profound and far-reaching. His approach to philosophy, based on questioning, dialogue, and critical reflection, laid the foundation for all subsequent Western philosophical traditions. He is often regarded as the father of ethics and epistemology, the study of knowledge. His belief that knowledge is essential for virtuous living continues to resonate with thinkers to this day. Socrates' emphasis on critical thinking, moral integrity, and intellectual humility has had an enduring impact on Western thought, influencing not only philosophers but also the development of education, science, and politics. His method of inquiry remains a cornerstone of modern education, encouraging students to think for themselves, question assumptions, and engage in the search for truth. Socrates' life and death exemplified his unwavering commitment to truth and virtue, and his legacy lives on as a beacon of intellectual courage. His insistence that the pursuit of knowledge is the most noble endeavor continues to inspire philosophers, educators, and individuals seeking a deeper understanding of the world and their place in it. Conclusion. Socrates, with his relentless pursuit of wisdom and his innovative method of inquiry, stands as one of the foundational figures in Western philosophy. His life, teachings, and death epitomize the philosophy of intellectual integrity, self-examination, and the quest for truth. Socrates' commitment to challenging the status quo, questioning assumptions, and pursuing knowledge continues to influence not just philosophy, but the broader intellectual tradition of the West. His legacy endures as a reminder that the search for truth and virtue is an ongoing, ever-evolving process that transcends time and culture.